on, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddison Hill, and yes, it's time for another pop off with Maddison. Now, full disclosure, you guys, this pop off is going to be off the cuff. I did plan on doing a full pop off today, but I plan on doing it on a different subject until we got this new report from Us Magazine that honestly is still mind-boggling to me, that Tristan Thompson told Maralee Nichols prior to her coming out and coming public with this paternity scandal that him and Khloe Kardashian were engaged and planning to be married. Yes, there are alleged Snapchat messages that we need to discuss, and honestly, these Snapchat messages are mind-boggling, even more mind-boggling than the fact that he communicated with her on Snapchat. I still can't get over that. I probably never will. So we're gonna talk about that. I also want to fill you guys in on some backlash that Khloe Kardashian is getting for some comments she made during her personal Variety interview. Yes, Variety sat down with all of the Kardashian sisters, but they also sat down with Khloe individually. She's getting some backlash for some comments she made, mainly the fact she made this comment that whenever a man does something wrong, people try to blame the woman in the situation, and obviously are people pointing out that Khloe is a hypocrite for saying that because hello, when the whole Tristan Thompson and Jordyn Woods situation happened, she never pointed any blame towards Tristan Thompson and only pointed blame towards Jordyn Woods. Basically, you get it. It's a lot of Khloe and Tristan mess, which honestly is kind of the perfect news for a Friday, and I know your time is precious on Friday, so I don't want to waste any more of it. So we're gonna get straight to this off-the-cuff pop-off. Also, just fair warning, you guys know whenever I do an off-the-cuff pop-off, it can get a little crazy. So go ahead and prepare yourselves, and now sit back, relax, and let's get straight into unwrapping these Khloe, Tristan, and honestly, Maralee Nichols facts. So first up, let's talk about this explosive Us Magazine report where Tristan Thompson allegedly told Maralee Nichols that him and Khloe were engaged, and that's why he didn't want anything to do with their son. So according to court documents that were actually filed by Maralee Nichols earlier this week that Us Magazine obviously got their hands on, Tristan Thompson made these claims that him and Khloe were engaged and soon to be married via Snapchat messages. Now hold on to your hats for these Snapchat messages, you guys, because they are absolutely wild. Now in one message from April 2021, Maralee Nichols claims that she sent this message to Tristan Thompson saying, "You literally just told me you are engaged and you're trying to be with your family. I didn't even know you were engaged. You have a record of treating me like absolutely crap, and this whole situation has been upsetting." A few days later, again according to these court documents, Tristan Thompson responded via Snapchat saying, quote, "I'm engaged, but I will be married soon. I told you I won't and can't be in the child life at all by no means. Why not wait till you find the right person to have a family with? Why would you want a baby with a man that's engaged? You want to keep a mistake." Oh my God, I literally can't. Now, real quick, I'm going to pause because I want to make sure that the timeline is clear for you guys. Tristan Thompson and Maralee Nichols hooked up in March on Tristan Thompson's birthday. During this time, him and Khloe Kardashian were still publicly together. In April, when these messages were sent, him and Khloe Kardashian were also still technically publicly together. They did not have a public split until June of last year when Sydney Chase was coming forward with her allegations on the No Jumper podcast. However, even though Khloe and Tristan were publicly broken up in June of last year, as I've said multiple times, you guys know here in the House of Hill, we had a theory that they were actually still together. Past that, Khloe just didn't want to be public about it because, again, all of these cheating accusations were still coming Tristan Thompson's way. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to clarify that real quick because sometimes I can get a little excited when the tea is really piping hot. So now we're going to go back to Maralee Nichols and those court documents she recently filed. So according to those court documents, again, that were obtained by Us Magazine, Maralee Nichols claims that Tristan Thompson spent $2 million on Khloe's engagement ring. And if you remember, also around this time, Khloe Kardashian was seen wearing a massive diamond on that very important finger several times on her Instagram and publicly. She never said that it was an engagement ring from Tristan Thompson. If you remember at the time, there were sources coming forward and just calling it a promise ring, but clearly, according to Maralee Nichols, we were being duped. It may or may not have been an engagement ring. And then that brings us to May of last year, so 1 month before Khloe and Tristan technically did publicly break up, Maralee Nichols claims that Tristan Thompson sent her another Snapchat message that said, quote, "Just a heads up, me and my fiance gonna announce publicly about our marriage typo. Just a heads up, we probably moving out the country in September and live either in Europe or Caribbean. Better living for us and our family away from the BS of America." So yes, you are hearing me correctly. Tristan Thompson in May of last year was trying to tell Maralee Nichols to not come forward about her child that he called a mistake that is actually his child. So one day his own child is going to read that his father called him a mistake. That's disgusting in and of itself. But in May of last year, Tristan Thompson was saying, oh, Khloe and I are gonna get married, we're gonna announce it soon, and on top of that, we're not even gonna live in America anymore, we're gonna move to Europe or the Caribbean. Like, what? I cannot express enough how mind-boggling all of this is to me, and I also wanna take this time to remind you guys that we did have information last month, again from Maralee Nichols. Remember, she came forward and said, all of these reports that Tristan Thompson is helping me and gonna give me $40,000 a month in child support, they are not true. Tristan Thompson has made no attempt to meet his son. He has made no attempt to assist me in raising our son, basically trying to call him out and say, yeah, remember those Instagram stories he posted where he said, oh, I want to amicably raise our son together? None of that is actually happening. Okay, now before I pop off and give you my thoughts on how, just terrible I think Tristan Thompson is, real quick, I want to fill you in on why the internet is dragging Khloe Kardashian. So as I briefly mentioned at the beginning of this video, in addition to doing an interview with Variety with her two sisters, Kim and Kourtney, Khloe also did an individual interview with Variety, and some of the comments she made during this interview are absolutely being dragged on social media. So the first questionable thing that Khloe Kardashian said was in response to a question where the interviewer asked Khloe, what's the most hurtful thing that someone has said about you? Khloe, of course, started this answer off saying that, when she was younger, it hurt her when people criticized her looks and compared her to her sisters. However, now she says, I'm very vulnerable and very transparent, and I've had relationships in the public eye. If your significant other is doing something wrong, for the woman to be blamed, that's always been really hurtful for me. I've never quite understood that. Instead of there being some sympathy or like, wow, that must really suck to have to go through that, and not only go through it, but then go through it so publicly. I don't even care if people have sympathy. I just don't understand why there's so much finger pointing, like it must be me. That's a heavy thing to carry. So one, people are latching onto this because Khloe Kardashian said, if your significant other is doing something wrong, for the woman to be blamed, that's always been really hurtful to me. People, of course, are bringing up Jordyn Woods. They're demanding once again that Khloe apologizes to Jordyn Woods. They're also pointing out the irony that when the whole Jordyn Woods and Tristan Thompson cheating scandal happened, Khloe and the entire family literally finger pointed at Jordyn Woods. Khloe literally said that Jordyn Woods is the reason her family is no longer together. And as you all know, they literally did their best to drag Jordyn Woods through the mud. And I know they did have a lot of people snowballed initially when that scandal broke, myself included. And I definitely want to address that because I know some people are going to be in the comments be like, remember when you used to hate on Jordyn? I did. When this scandal first broke, I absolutely thought that Jordyn Woods was in the wrong. However, now that I have all of the information and years of information, I have seen the light. Tristan Thompson is absolutely the only one to blame in this situation. So it is ironic to me that Khloe Kardashian is trying to say, why don't more people blame the man? Very good question, Khloe Kardashian. Why don't you blame the man? Because you got back together with this man how many freaking times after that situation? Okay, now that I've laid everything out for you guys, and I know that I was kind of throwing in opinions here and there while I was unwrapping the facts, I'm sorry that sometimes happens on these off-the-cuff pop-offs. Let's go ahead, make this pop-off official because I don't know about you all, but I could really freaking use a shambong. Snapchat messages. Embarrassing. Okay, so first up, let's talk about that Us Magazine report. So first and foremost, I absolutely 1000% believe that before June of last year, that Khloe and Tristan were engaged and they were definitely having plans to get married. Now, I believe this because A, they were very serious. B, we know that Khloe Kardashian had embryos frozen with Tristan Thompson. That way they could have another child and give True a sibling. You don't plan on doing that unless you plan on being with that man for a very long time. And C, whenever they filmed that Keeping Up with the Kardashians reunion with Andy Cohen, remember that was filmed around that April-May timeline. During that reunion, she talked all about her relationship with Tristan Thompson and how they've moved forward and how the family has moved forward with Tristan Thompson. So I definitely believe that during that time, him and Khloe were in a place where they were engaged to be married. Now, do I necessarily believe that they were trying to move to the Caribbean or Europe? Not really. I think Tristan Thompson was using that as a pure threat to Maralee Nichols, which what a freaking idiot. Snapchat messages, I don't know how many times you have to say it for this guy to comprehend it. They can be screenshotted and saved and used against you. So I don't know why he would try to put what I believe is a lie out there like that. It makes absolutely no sense to me other than the fact that he was trying to scare Maralee Nichols into once again making a decision about her body that wasn't Tristan Thompson's decision to make. Now moving on, let's talk about Khloe and those comments she made during Variety. Oh my god, my upper lip sweat is so bad. I'm so sorry. Here's the thing about Khloe. I feel like she has made several hypocritical comments about cheating. cheating and she just never learns her lesson, and people can continue bringing up Jordyn Woods, and for some reason it just doesn't compute that she's being hypocritical. Honestly, for Khloe, I feel like until she publicly once again addresses Jordyn Woods and says, I was wrong, I'm sorry my family and I did the things we did, the public is never going to move on from the Jordyn and Tristan scandal. And honestly, I feel like Khloe Kardashian does probably need to do that if she does ever want to move on and does want people to stop calling her out for comments she makes. However, the one thing I do want to say I can see Khloe's point of view on is when she said, you know, that whenever Tristan was cheating, people kind of didn't have sympathy for her and started blaming her and were like, what did you do to cause him to cheat? That definitely is a narrative that goes out there whenever we talk about a man cheating on a woman, and I don't think that's right. However, I want to point out that the reason why people reacted this way to Khloe Kardashian when Tristan cheated on her is because this man cheated on her a handful of times publicly that we know about. So who even knows about all the times we don't know about? So it's really hard for me to understand how Khloe can expect sympathy so many times. After the first time when he cheated on you when you were 9 months pregnant, oh my God, girl, our hearts went out to you. We were there for you. We were upset. We wanted that man out from the inner circle, but you kept forgiving him time and time and time again. And when you continue forgiving someone time and time and time again, you can't expect the public to continue to have sympathy for you, because at some point we're gonna be like, girl, what do you not understand? This man does not want to be monogamous. He's made that crystal clear. He's made it crystal clear that he's just overall not a good person. Like, I just don't even understand how any woman from here on out, and yes, Khloe, I'm talking to you, because if I hear at all any rumors that they are talking or reconciling or she's thinking about it, I will literally lose my mind. I do not know how any woman from here on out could want anything to do with Tristan Thompson. Like, can we just make a pact? Right here in the House of Hill, we'll share this pact with the women of the world. No longer should anyone have anything to do with Tristan Thompson. I don't care what he has packing below the belt. I don't care if it is the most amazing thing any woman has ever seen. It is just no. All right, you guys, I feel like this went on way too long. I just saw the time. I'm sorry, you know, sometimes with these off-the-cuff pop-offs, I can really just get on a rant and a roll, and I apologize. But now that you know my thoughts about all of the latest Khloe and Tristan tea, I want to hear your thoughts down below. While you guys are at it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget that notification bell. For more content, make sure you guys follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, don't forget to keep coming back to this channel to check out my YouTube shorts. You guys can also find all of my merch over at my merch store at houseofhill.com. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!